Good job on the paper, everyone, by the way.
Let's see, Kim, are you leading tonight?
I am. I hope so. Yeah, no, I'm glad the paper's done.
Yes.
So it is like giving birth, Matthew. Just
I
kidding.
told you. Like I would know.
So Matthew, you have the editing capability next time.
Okay.
Like you're the editor, because right,
Yeah.
you don't present in this 3-week stretch.
Okay.
So
So I
Leslie, I
write an
think.
intro, conclusion, and then edit it. Okay.
Yeah.
I can do that.
Yep.
So Leslie, I think you are in charge next week
Of
for presenting.
presenting?
Well,
Yeah.
leading the discussion. Yeah.
Oh, leading the discussion. Okay, yeah, I thought we were still talking about the paper. So,
Yeah,
okay,
that
yeah.
massive project you're presenting, remember?
Yeah.
That 5-page paper.
I can lead the discussion next week. No problem.
Phew.
All right. So to continue on with our reading, so for the thing, it wants us to pretend to be people in the case.
Oh.
And
Yeah.
there's only one female, so one of you is going to play Mel. I'm sorry.
I think Matthew should play the female, and we can all.
Oh.
Just to switch it up.
Shakespearean challenge.
And I want you guys to have a matching voice. No, I'm just kidding. All right. So, so in the discussion it talks about the different plan that they have, and I'm supposed to be playing Gilbert Potterfield, so I already sound like a man anyways. I'm good in that aspect. And so that is Sid Noble. I'll let Matt. You can be Sid Noble.
Okay.
Which one of you care if you're a man or a woman? Do you guys ladies care?
I don't
No.
care. I'll be a man.
All right. So there's 5, so we might have to improvise with the other 2. Melanie, if you'll be Ruth Gibson, and then Leslie, if you'll be Miles Haddock. And then I guess for fun we can kind of play in what Gus and Bill have to say, or what they feel about the plan. So if you guys, do you guys remember what they said, how they felt about it?
I remember
Take
reading.
5 minutes and review what they said. You go right ahead. I'm sorry, Leslie, I cut you off.
I'm familiar with all of those names except Miles Haddock. I don't recall what page he jumped in the conversation and what his complaints were. I'll have to review a little bit, but I can't. If anyone wants to point him out.
At the bottom of page 5.
He's on page 6. Or no, let's see. No, that's Gus. You're probably right. Bottom of page 5.
It's
You're
at
right.
the bottom, the very last sentence. Fred, shush. Sorry.
You're fine. You're fine.
Did you find it, Leslie?
No.
Okay,
Wait,
so
mine aren't numbered the
Sid
same.
Noble says a swear word.
Ooh, nice.
I missed that.
I'm just kidding. No, I'm not kidding.
Oh, he totally does. I missed that. BYU Idaho teaching us profanities.
I know. How dare they?
I know. I am personally offended. Just kidding.
Okay,
Okay, so Leslie, on the second column on page 5, the paragraph starts out with the very, very bottom. It says, "If I may begin, Miles Haddock, Top Chem CFO."
Okay, mine aren't numbered the same because I had to print it from a different. I had to Google this.
I did too.
Article. You did, because
Yep.
there was the link was broken, right?
Well, it just goes to a display of other articles on the Harvard Business.
Yeah. So
Brother
just
Bonnie sent
Google
out
the
a
article
link.
and print it up.
Oh, really?
I'm pretty sure that's the link I sent him, though. But that's all right.
Well, Brother Bonnie sent out a link to everybody that had the correct link.
Yeah.
And I got to it,
Leslie,
no problem.
do you have a Mac?
No.
Do I?
Yeah.
You're asking? No. I have a PC at work, and then I have my phone, which I'm using right now.
Oh, okay. I was going to say you can do a keyword search in your browser.
Control F. Yeah. Well, I was going to say, well, page 5 to us is like the second page.
I mean, I read the article. Why do I not remember reading his name? It's strange. And he says, you said the paragraph starts off, if I may?
Yeah.
Sorry, I don't want to spend all this time looking for my character.
That's okay. The suggestion was spend 5 to 10 minutes, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, so we have 10 minutes for you to find it. It's fine.
So you see that part in the case study where what kind of pay plan should Verde roll out, and then it has the 4 experts?
Yeah.
So if you count back about 8 or 9 paragraphs from that section, you'll find where it's talking about Haddock. It's 8 paragraphs back.
It's funny. It says so it says right there, tell them that the more they really act with the characters, the more fun that they will have.
Ooh, role play.
So I guess I wasn't being funny.
Is that a promise? That'd be fun, okay?
All right, Matt, you have a new assignment? Just kidding.
All right.
Did you find it, Leslie?
No, I don't know why I'm having such trouble. None of my pages are numbered, so when you guys say, look at this page, I'm not seeing it. I'm just not seeing it.
Okay, but do you see the breakout where it starts out with Maggie Coyle, and it's the 4 experts on compensation discuss his options?
I see Maggie Coyle, Vice President Compensation.
Yes. So count backwards 8 paragraphs.
Yeah, she's right. It's 8 paragraphs.
Okay, so I see not the paragraph that starts with Gus Taylor.
Nope, keep going.
Keep going.
2 more paragraphs.
Oh my goodness, I'm just going bonkers, you guys. Sorry.
So you had Gus Teller, a corporate head of training, and the paragraph before that is let's imagine that a rise in oil prices.
Yeah.
And then the paragraph before that is if I may begin, Miles Haddock.
Mine is just totally
You should just improvise it.
I will have to, because I kid you not, mine, the paragraph before it says let's imagine.
Yes.
Okay, you see let's imagine that a rise in oil prices, right?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay, the paragraph before that starts out as this pay plan will make those conditions worse. It's going to punish teams like mine for the failings of others instead of rewarding. Am I right?
Okay, now keep reading.
Keep going.
Rewarding us for the work we can do, or we have done already. What bonus will my team receive for the progress it's made or will make? Gibson folded her arms and rested back in her chair.
If I may.
No, that's not where my paper goes to. It doesn't say if I may. It says we are going to face problems, and those problems are eventually going to show up.
Oh, okay, so that's him. That's him. So you're missing like 2-3 sentences.
That's the craziest thing.
Oh yeah, you are.
I think my printer just cut it off, like, honestly. Okay, so Miles starts saying, if I may.
Began Miles Haddock, Top Chem's CFO. I take exception to Ruth's argument What she may see as a penalty, I see as a natural fact of doing business. Then it goes to we are going to face
problems. Okay, what she sees as a penalty, he sees as a natural fact of doing business.
Yes.
We're going to face problems. Okay.
Yeah. Well, no wonder you couldn't find it.
Oh my gosh, I was going crazy, you guys. I'm like, I don't see his name anywhere. And I'm like, am I really crazy? Okay. Okay,
HR
I'll do.
Class was about to turn into improv class.
Yes. Acting 101. All right. When you're all ready, just let me know and we'll continue on.
Hey, buddy.
These kids are so cute.
Hot cocoa? Go ask Mom for some hot cocoa.
Okay, I think I'm ready.
Okay. All right. So as the team member, Gilbert Potterfield, I bring you all together for this meeting. Sam Verde, I'm assuming, I don't speak Spanish, has asked me to lead this committee. And although I worked hard on an initial pay plan, I realized that no pay plan will be successful without support from employees. So I want to get your input as we create a pay plan that will be best for everyone. So now is the time. Do you want to repeat that?
I'm so sorry.
I feel bad. Okay, so basically, here's a group. I want to hear your guys' input.
Here. Lay down. You can lay right here.
I'm so sorry, guys.
Lay down. Lay down. Lay down. I'm going to let you watch your show.
Okay,
lay
I'm
down.
listening now.
Okay.
Alright.
So basically, now we get to act out that part of what we talked about. So we're all here as part of a committee to discuss the thing. It says that although I worked on initial play plan, it's not everyone's gonna support it. So I want to get everyone's input. So now our job is to come up with 20 different better pay plan ideas.
20?
That's what it says.
20 is excessive, don't you?
That we so it says that try to write down at least 20 from the group.
Okay.
Wow.
So try.
I can think of like 2. All right. So you people who have your opinions as your different characters, go on.
Okay, well, my name's Ruth, and I am a chemical mixer on the packaging team. And oh gosh, hold on.
You're fine.
And I feel like while the team concept is great, because we had one of the scientists working with us and kind of joining our team, and he got to see the process from his creative part of it to creating all the lab stuff to all the way down to packaging. And he liked to see how the customers were reacting to the product. So that's great. But and so to tie his pay to our team, that's a great idea, because he is part of our team.
Listen, Ruth, you had me going with the scientists, okay? Forget everybody else, okay? These scientists are darn good at what they do. And I've already spent too much time explaining to everybody else besides the scientists. They know what they're doing. They need to be compensated more than anybody else.
Well, what about the packaging team? We worked our tail off to get our shipments down from 3 months to 3 weeks. We stayed weekends, worked weekends, and we didn't get anything extra for it. So there should be some kind of bonus included for the extra work that our team did.
Did it produce, like, was there enough production to warrant a pay increase?
Definitely. We were working weekends for almost a year. It wasn't just me, it was my whole team was working weekends. And
no, but,
why?
But how did that affect the bottom line? Like, how did that affect the production?
Because we also reduced, we cut the defects down to 1/5 of what they used to be. So we brought costs down, and we're developing innovations that other teams are picking up on now. We've given you guys more to work with.
Okay, well.
And you all know that if the packaging division doesn't work, then your product's going nowhere, and you won't be making any money anyway.
So, your point is the packaging is just as important as the scientist.
It is. It's just as important as the scientist. The scientist can figure out what to do, but we get it to where it needs to go.
Well, I think, if I know myself well enough, that I agree with you, because it is a team effort, and if we as a company produce, then we should all be equally rewarded, I think.
Sound a little unsure there.
I am.
We're going to institute socialism. Just kidding.
I mean, the plant manager has been in our division every month or so, and they're telling everybody what great improvements and successes our team has had, but we've hardly made any more money than we did 2 years ago.
Okay, well, my response to that would be that I think, as one of our 20 ideas, I think that we need to make sure that the scientists or other employees can choose how they want to get paid. We can pay them traditionally, or we can come up with some kind of team-based paying system where they're not forced into it, but if they do want to build in a team and have their work recognized as a team, then they should be compensated differently.
But doesn't it need to be a consensus across the whole company?
Possibly, maybe.
Because,
but how do we come to that consensus exactly?
Well, we've got to get ideas from the whole company, not just from Mr. Porterfield, that thinks he can solve everything.
Okay.
You know, the way that Porterfield has it set up is 25% of your pay is based on your team and how you improve in the various areas. And that's all fine and good, but shouldn't that instead be a bonus? Like your bonus is based on above and beyond? I mean, if you look at some of the classes I've taken through BYU, says that the standard is 80%, and if you want higher than an 80%, you have to perform above and beyond what the norm is.
When you're talking about the 25%, you're talking about the flexible pay, correct?
Yes, the flexible pay.
Okay. I'm just writing down ideas based on what you guys are saying, so keep talking. This is good because it's getting ideas of how to better help the company.
So, sorry guys, Ruth is frustrated because will be tied to areas that are beyond your control, to other team members' inabilities or inefficiencies? Or am I wrong?
No, because Ruth likes the idea of having a team member, having a team philosophy.
Oh, okay.
See, I got the fact that she didn't like the team philosophy because she thought that those that were like the lower people on the totem pole actually got hurt more than like the scientists who were up higher. Like they're the ones that benefited from like the low people's jobs, because like the low people didn't do their jobs, the scientists wouldn't get all these great benefits. So that's how I took it, unless I'm wrong.
Well, I think that she's happy. I mean, they've had a scientist working with their team, and she's very happy with how that worked out. What she has a problem with is how the performance of her group, how it ties her group to everybody else in the factory. Her group has worked their tails off this last year and hasn't seen anything in return for working hard.
Okay.
So she wants
and
her team deserves.
The point that Miles is making is, why should her team be any different from the others? Who is top chem if not the employees of the entire company? So, like, it reflects on management what the entire company's doing. And let me see if I got this right.
Well, so, I like the idea of part of your pay being tied to your, the performance of the team. But when it comes to having it be for the entire company, that it's tied to the entire company's performance, I don't know that that's right.
I just think that their true value of the employee will lie completely in their unique function. And their pay should reflect what they're bringing to the table that is unique. That's really where I will stand on this.
I mean, if you're introducing innovation, you should be rewarded for that innovation. And not...
Dang straight.
That's right. We've brought a lot of innovation into the packaging.
Right. I agree. I'm agreeing personally, not as Miles.
Are you multiple personalities?
Yeah, kind of. Well, because I don't know how to argue for Miles. I just know what I believe, so I'm not really clear on what he's like advocating, but I'm trying to understand it.
I just also want to establish the value of learning, because we bring people on and make them members of our teams because of what they can bring to the table, but they need to be moldable, and they need to be willing to learn to fulfill other roles as the needs of the team change.
Maybe we need to, mix up the teams. We have, for example, in the packaging division, we had a scientist on our team. So why not spread out the teams more, mix them up more?
Yeah, I was reading this really weird story about rowing teams and how they switched them around. It doesn't always work, though.
However, did you stumble upon that?
It was a memo. Okay, I sent it out to all of you.
I think that's a fantastic idea.
All right, so based upon the reading, what other plans can you guys think of that would be beneficial? What other pay plans would work? So I have, so you get you get better if you like lower costs. You get a benefit of lowering cost. The team members choose their compensation. Teamwork is equal across the board. Scientists choose compensation, and then I got Melanie's idea of flexible pay could be a bonus instead of added to the plan, and then you get a bonus or a pay reflecting upon what unique you bring to the table. Is what I've kind of gotten from what you guys have said. Is there anything else you guys? Go ahead.
I want to add, just to move away from traditional pay structures where it's like the seniority and you make X amount of dollars, you make more and more the longer you've been there, because I think people get complacent when they just make a lot of money based on the number of years they've been there. They've got to be bringing innovation, and they got to be like working their butts off. Because I know personally at my company, we've gotten rid of some of these people, or they've left, but they were making a lot of money just for having worked for the company for a really long time, but they weren't doing jack crap, and they're just collecting a lot of paychecks. So
I think more and more these days we're seeing seniority kind of go out the window, and it's being traded with project-based work where you're brought on to complete a project, and if there are more projects for you to do, you may stick around, but then you move on to other companies and do other projects. I think that's more what we're seeing these days, especially in that industrial organizational psychology major, and what you can do with it with that kind of a degree.
So I'm kind of getting mixed up on what week we talked about what, but in one of the past weeks we read something that said that if you take the matter of pay off the table, if you pay them enough, you pay them more than what the average is, then they're going to find more satisfaction in their job because they are not worried about their pay all the time. It becomes a non-issue.
That was last week. That was about motivation. And
okay.
What we also found out too was that people, when they're given an opportunity to be creative and to do something that they feel is innovative, they will do it for almost free.
Did you say almost free?
Not extra pay.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Not extra pay.
As long as they feel like they're contributing to something.
So that would be a suggestion, is to take away this whole pay structure and come up with an amount that you pay everybody. Or, I guess there has to be some, like, scientists who've gone through a lot of school and that, they've got to make more than packaging. But if you pay everybody more than what industry is paying, then hopefully you'll see greater strides in innovation.
Whoa. Did you guys read that? Oh, I'm sorry, Melanie, go ahead.
I was going to say, there was a guy here in Seattle that in his company, he decided to raise everybody's pay to $70,000 a year.
Yeah, I remember that. He's a credit card company, right?
Something. I don't remember particularly what company. But then he also cut his pay, and his brother ended up suing him over it.
Yeah, made a lot of people mad.
Yeah.
Wow.
But that to me seemed like an extreme example of pay people more than what others think they're worth.
Well, does it have to be one way all across the board? Can it be like a percentage of your pay is based on your position and the industry average, and then there'd be another percentage of your pay that's incentive based, or
we can do whatever. I think we can do whatever we want.
Yeah. Well,
I mean, but what do you guys think of that as an option, like where there is a portion of your pay that's driven by your ability to produce and be innovative and...
Well, who determines, like, who's being innovative and who isn't?
I don't know.
So where my husband works at, he gets a salaried wage, but if he sees so many patients, he gets what's called RVUs, which just, like if he does extra procedures or something like that, it's actually extra money that he gets on top of it. And so it's more incentive for him to see more patients or to do like harder procedures, because he'll get more money than just his standard salary. And the RVU amount depends on the provider. Like some may see more patients, some may not. So I mean, that's definitely a possible pay structure.
Is he a surgeon or something?
He's a PA.
Well, is that, I don't know, because my dad was a PA too, and he worked for himself for 30 years and had a very...
physician's assistant? Is that the...
Yeah. Yep,
Yeah.
same thing.
He was built up his business and had a great clientele and, you know, great bedside manner. He took the time that he needed with each patient. And when he closed his clinic down and moved to Utah and started working for these other, he worked for I think 2 or 3 different companies after that. And that was something that really frustrated him, is that he couldn't spend the time that he wanted with each patient because there was that see more patients, see more patients, see more patients. You know, improve your numbers, improve your numbers.
Yeah,
And
quantity over quality.
Yes, yes.
Well, I mean, like, my husband doesn't get penalized if he doesn't see the amount he's supposed to see. It's just a bonus for him if he does. And he works in urgent care, so a lot of people there, they want to get in, they want to get out.
Right.
So that's probably why the pay structure is that way.
Which does he work on Main Street?
No, we live in New Mexico.
Oh, holy heck! I thought you lived in Rexburg.
No, I grew up in Rexburg.
Okay.
Yeah. All my family's there. That's not me.
Awesome.
So, you know, when you're talking about how do you judge innovation? Well, that can go back to, you know, under the flexible pay, and it had all those percentages. So innovation would be creating something that improves the process, that improves production. And so if you are showing an annual improvement, I think that would be a good indicator whether or not something was innovative.
Yeah, I agree. I think that you have to measure it by productivity. You could call something innovative, but if, like, it might be a great idea, but if it's not producing. So when I said that earlier, innovation, it just means, like, who are the forward thinkers that are making things happen, but you have to show, you know, numbers.
Right, so maybe we come up with a program for applying or coming up with ideas, and then there is an opportunity. Everybody has an equal opportunity to introduce an idea and try and get it to work, and then see what sticks.
So like an innovators workshop or something.
Yeah.
But how would that work for like a pay plan? Would it be like you get this much more if you come up with a plan, or this much more if we implement your plan, or trying to how to word your guys' ideas?
Yeah,
So
if
tack a $100 bill to the wall or something.
What about a percentage of the sales or something? Like, I don't know.
I like that.
Sales, or maybe if it saves money, you know?
Yeah,
A percentage of money saved,
Yeah.
or
You know, I'll just split that into 2 then. Percentage of sales. I'm sorry, Melanie, you were saying another one?
Like increase in sales.
Okay.
Or increase in customers. Sorry, not sales, because we talked about that. I mean, you look at lawyers, and they get all kinds of bonuses the more clients they bring in.
Yeah.
You know, at my work, every year we have to do goals. And we have to make a SMART goal, the specific, measurable, achievable, whatever, attainable. I don't remember what they all stand for off the top of my head. And then you have to set a challenge goal, and then you have to set the stretch goal. And so if you meet your challenge goal, and all of this figures into how much your bonus is and how much of a pay raise you get. And so, you know, if you don't reach your goal, that's going to affect it. If you hit the challenge, you know, you're on track for like a 3% or something. If you reach your stretch goals, then, you know, it can be higher than the average. And this year we had to have 4 goals, which was just obnoxious. But then not only that, but it's also tied to the company performance, where our team is allocated X percentage of the bonus for the entire company. You know, they have like a pool, a bonus pool.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, our investment management group gets a large portion of that pool. Our real estate group gets a large portion because they're the ones making the most money for the company.
Oh.
I like that idea.
It's very complex and yeah. But
Have any of you guys had any jobs where you were paid more on performance?
Well, isn't that most of them is, you know, after like a year, you know, you have a evaluation river, and if you do well, you get more money. Isn't that the way it normally is? At least jobs I've had.
Yeah, like, well, with me, I'm paid hourly and commission, and so the more I sell, the more commission I make. It's addicting. It is not something I want to be doing even now, but I'm kind of in that situation where I kind of have to. But it is addicting.
When I did massage, I was paid the same way. We got a base salary, we got an hourly, and then we got a commission. So we got a percentage of the cost of the massage. And so our hourly was just minimum wage, but then our commission was like 30% of the price of the massage. And then so the more massages we did, obviously the more money we made.
So the idea was to grow your client pipeline, I guess. People come to you.
Yeah, and then there was opportunities to upsell. You know, you could upgrade them to a body treatment, upgrade them, sell this product. You know, after their treatment, recommend this cream or whatever. And it's just like there were opportunities to sell. So
use this avocado scrub.
Exactly.
All right, we have 13 ideas. Do you guys want to go with those, or do you want to come up with 7 more?
Did you write down avocado scrub?
You know, I lost that one.
Because then that's 15, right?
My little brother is a massage therapist, and he goes, if you just come up here, I'll do like a rap on you. And I'm like, no. And he's like fine. And he's like, oh, you'll love it. And I go, it's not that I would love it. It's the fact that you are going to do a rap on me. He's like, oh, I won't even care. And I'm like, no. Yeah,
there's a Chinese massage where there's a Chinese massage where they put gloves on and then light their hands on fire and then massage you.
What? That's crazy.
So the only thing I can think of that we hadn't come up with that's come to my mind. I don't know if you guys read the what was it called? The 6 Myths.
Yes.
6 Dangerous Myths About Pay. Gosh, that was a long read. So when it talks about Men's Warehouse, it said that
they pay them more.
Excuse me.
They pay them more.
Well, yeah.
Men's Warehouse.
But the things with Men's Warehouse, the reason why people like them, it says that they sell more effectively because of product knowledge and the sales skills. So maybe just like the more, I guess because I think that the more knowledgeable an employee is. But I guess it already has to do with customers because we already talked about increasing of customers.
But they pay for that specific training to learn how to tailor and learn how to, like, what proper fit is. Whereas, like, you go to Macy's and just whoever happens to be working the men's department or whatever may not know as much about suits as these people at Men's Warehouse who have been, like, trained, like, in depth about tailoring and suits and fit and all that stuff, you know? So I think they invest in their clients or in their employees, like, to have more product knowledge.
Yeah. So higher product knowledge, higher pay. I know, Melanie, you were talking.
I was just thinking that Ruth, her company reduced waste, and that can be a factor for pay too. Like, how did you or did we already talk about decreasing costs?
Well, I did. That was the first one I did, is benefit of decreasing cost.
Sorry.
So no, you're fine. I mean, you guys think like the more knowledgeable an employee is, the more. But you know, that kind of ties in what we've already talked about. So let's see. Well, I guess we just go with
you're right. That's what I was saying. Was the more knowledgeable, the more pay.
Yeah.
But Melanie was saying like being like the more conservative. I think in terms of reducing waste and like not having to cost the company as much is gonna like maybe increase your own pay. Is that right, Melanie? Like.
Yeah, but I think we already kind of talked about that.
Oh, did we? Okay.
Yeah, I have a benefit of decreasing cost.
Got it.
So, all right, I have to find another spare piece of paper. Sorry, all my kids like to crumble up mine. All right, so now we go through the pros and cons of all these wonderful ideas we've talked about. So, what is a pro of the benefit of decreasing cost?
You decrease costs and it's more profit for the company.
Okay, what would be a con?
You're going to get some people that are either being paid less or even seen as being unnecessary.
Well, and it could also eliminate positions.
Or materials.
For more, which would mean more work for everybody else.
Okay, what about having the team, so like you as a team choose what type of compensation you get?
So I can tell you a pro on that one is you're going to have happy employees who are feeling like they're compensated fairly because they came up with their own payment plans.
I agree. What would be a con?
That they might overshoot their worth.
Or they can't come to an agreement.
Yeah.
I mean, if you have a team where you have a scientist and you have packaging, like on Ruth's team, how do you come up with something where you have a scientist who's worth really a lot more than packaging people? So how do you come up with something that's going to please both ends of the spectrum?
Yeah, that brings up another point too, is not only please all members on the team themselves, but then how do you know that you can even match what they're requesting as a team, you know? Like, how do you negotiate that out? Like if the team comes up with
I'll be right back.
Okay. If the team comes up with what they think is fair compensation and you as management doesn't agree, then how do you start, negotiating that down? Where do you draw the line, or you know what I mean? And how do you do that for each team? I just don't know. Like it could get convoluted. It could get messy, is what I'm saying.
Excuse me. Should we continue on away from that?
Let's continue on.
Okay. Okay. What about teamwork is equally rewarded? What would be a pro to that?
Well, I did talk about that when you are, it's like peer pressure's working in a good way, because as a team you want to please your other team members. Mm-hmm. You don't want to be the bad guy.
I think another pro would be it would kind of unify everybody. Like, hey, we're all producing, well, we're all getting rewarded. Like this is our baby, this is our project, this is ours together. We're all in this together.
High School Musical.
Now, Sina, you're bringing in movie references.
Sorry.
That's all right.
Well, with
that's not your.
We're all in this together.
Yeah. All right. What about con?
Well, we've all seen it work here at BYU Idaho when you're in teams. It doesn't work. That's why I'm like, that theory doesn't work. Maybe it's different if we're actually getting paid. But I mean, I have been in a group before where someone has told me that the class wasn't a priority.
Wow.
Yeah, I've had that before too.
How do you Yeah. You're letting everybody down. You're affecting my grade because of your stupidity, but
yeah, I think that's the biggest thing is that your grade suffers based on somebody's inadequacies or their poor attitude or whatever. I just think in that way it's just not gonna be fair.
I had a group project a couple semesters ago, and I was meeting with, it was like 5 guys, and only one of them showed up one night, and I said to the kid, just so you know, I hate group projects, so we're going to get this done because it's first a student. He was like, okay. All right, okay, so so scientists, or maybe we can say like head people, choose the type of compensation as opposed to like the team. What would be a pro to that?
They're going to get what they want. They're going to write it the way they want it to be, the way it's going to... Well, I guess that's also a negative, too.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they're going to view anyone beneath them as not as much of a contributor because they're, well, but they might, even though that person beneath them is an integral part of the process and part of the team, they may be unfairly compensated because they're viewed as lesser than. I don't know.
I'm sorry. I cut you off again. I'm sorry.
No, you didn't cut me off. I just was kind of struggling to articulate my thought there, but if you guys kind of get what I'm saying.
Well, I almost think it's like Ruth's position, how she was saying that's like it's her team does all the work and should be compensated for everyone.
Right. They weren't compensated for what for their team's contributions.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. What about flexible pay being a bonus instead of an added plan? What would be a pro to that?
Well, I guess. Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead. No, Matt, go ahead.
A pro would be flexible. Say it again. Flexible pay.
Being a bonus instead of just like an added. Like this is across the board type of thing.
Okay. Well, if it's a bonus, that means it's not really the major way that they're being paid, and so there really wouldn't be any sort of like exploiting of it if it was just a bonus.
Mm-hmm.
Because you get people that are like overpaid. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Melanie, you were gonna say something?
I don't know. In one side, out the other. I don't
know. What about a con? Oh, go ahead.
Back to the pros though. Wouldn't it be an incentive to work harder because it is a bonus, or
I think
that's another pro there.
Mm-hmm. What would you guys think about a con?
Boy.
So the only thing you can think of is, would a bonus be taxed differently than just like an increase in your pay? Because
yes, it is.
That could be like a big con, because I know like overtime, once you hit so much overtime, it's really not good. Like it's like, oh, there goes all your overtime. So I don't know, just thoughts.
A bonus, they tax it at 30%.
Yeah, so I guess that could be a con.
My commissions at Verizon are 25% tax.
Oh, gee. I love your cut, by the way. Very cool.
Star Wars.
All right.
I'm way more excited than a 30-year-old should be.
All right. Pay reflect what you bring unique to the table. What would be a pro to that?
You would want to strive to bring uniqueness. I mean, you'd be willing to put your ideas out there because you want the extra incentive.
A con is that uniqueness doesn't always necessarily mean that it's innovative. So you might have such unique, crazy ideas out there that they just might not work out.
That you're wasting everyone's time.
Have you guys ever seen?
Far-fetched.
Have you guys ever seen Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs?
Yeah.
I didn't bring up the movie this time.
No, Melanie already did.
Oh.
Well, it's just like all Flint Lockwood's innovations are not that great, even though they're unique.
I was gonna bring up Arrested Development. Have you guys ever watched that show?
Oh, that's
No.
funny.
Oh, okay.
All right. So the amount you paid is equal to your work amount. What would be a pro to that?
Wait, say that again?
So the amount that you get paid is equal to how much work you put in. So if you work really hard, you get paid this much.
Or
effort? I just put $amount equals work amount.
So a con
take that as you
is,
want.
a con is how do you determine how much work you've done?
Okay.
Yeah, because you might be on the clock, but you might be sitting there doing nothing.
Yeah.
Do you guys have a pro for that?
Well, yeah. I mean, those who are putting more of an effort, so to speak, are the ones being paid more. That's not really saying anything about the people that are making that kind of decision. But
Well, a pro for those people who aren't putting the time in properly, though, is they're still getting paid.
Yeah. But let's say everybody was legitimately working on the time, on the hours that they were clocked in. Like, the idea, the pro of it would be it's all relative. The more you work, the more you get paid, and it makes sense, you know.
I agree. All right, number 8. So you take away the pay structure, everyone gets paid the same amount. What would be a pro or a con?
Payroll's really easy to figure out.
There you go.
That's actually a pro.
I know, it is.
I've done payroll. It's hard. Well, I guess I've been there, but anyways. What would be a con?
Well, another pro is that it's going to eliminate any negative feelings towards other people in the company because everybody's getting paid the same.
That's actually really
That's
good point.
true, because you could take it or leave it, knowing that that's what you're going to get paid. Like, you can take the job or leave it. But
Right.
it could also cause conflict, because if someone feels like they're more valuable, more of an asset, they're more skilled, they're more educated, then why are they getting the same pay as their neighbor, you know? Why aren't they getting paid more?
And there was your con.
Yeah, I'm writing it
There's
down. All right. Okay. Okay. So, well, I guess this is similar to the one we already did. So, you get paid more if you work harder. That's pretty reflective of the same one we just did. More effort, you get paid more.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we'll move on. So for the percentage that you save the company could be the amount you get. Would be a pro to that.
Well, I would encourage people to look for cost-saving measures, to think more about throwing away the pen that's only half used versus running it all the way out, or, you know, little things add up.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. What would be a con?
A con would be, I think it'd be hard to prove exactly how much you're saving. Like, for instance, if you're being real conservative with materials, paper, pens, like that kind of stuff, like how do you prove to your boss that I didn't use this much in resources, or how do you measure what you're conserving, I think, or reducing? How do you measure your waste reduction or whatever?
Also, you could eat up what you saved in paying out the bonuses.
Oh, yeah.
Depending on what bonus agreement you've made.
Will you repeat that again, Matt? I don't think I caught it all.
Oh, sorry. So, okay, so we saved, look how much we saved, and now the bonus we pay out, it's almost a wash. Because,
Oh, yeah.
you know what I mean? You'd have to save a lot and then pay not very much to make it worth it. to incentivize that kind of thing.
Yeah.
All right. What about compensation for percentage of the sales? So if you increase like percentage of the sales, what would be a pro or con to that?
Well, gee, that's like my job all the way, so I'm pro that, definitely for sure, because you're bringing all that business in. I'm signing new customers on all the time. I'm upgrading them and keeping them going, and so I get paid more to do that. So that's the pro, I think.
What would be a con?
I think we covered this, and is like sometimes selling something just for the purpose of the sale and not because it best suits the customer, and like people are just so commission based that they're not really taking the customer's needs into account. They're just trying to make sales.
So customer service could suffer.
Yeah.
Definitely.
I actually think that it was in that the 6 Myths that actually said there was a consumer fraud, because or I guess people had like almost bullied people into buying all these different things that they didn't need.
Well, I read an article the other day about what companies like Vivint and Altera which are, if you're not familiar with those, they're door-to-door like alarm companies and pest control.
Mm-hmm.
And so they'll hire the culture of those companies is doing to the Utah Valley. And basically, students are being hired to go do summer sales, make $200,000, in some cases $300,000 a summer. I'm not kidding. That's real.
Wow.
And then so it's convincing them to abandon their studies basically and go into like sleazy door-to-door sales, where they just care about getting the sale and not doing the due diligence with the customer's service stuff. So.
My husband actually had a cousin who did that in Philadelphia, and my husband was asking questions about it, and he sat there and he goes, "Do you realize you're lying to the customer?"
Yeah.
He's like, "Yeah, I guess I can see that." He's like, "You're putting like a false fear in them that is not really necessary." All right. So compensation for increased customers. I guess that can almost be increased sales, but I think it can be different, because there's increasing sales and there's actually bringing customers in. Do you guys think that's
but
different?
really what you really want is the sale, because
That's
customers. True. You do want to build those relationships because they might be lifelong customers, but what you're really looking at is the dollars you're bringing in. So it really boils down to the sale.
Yeah, but also it's more expensive to sign on new customers than to keep existing ones going. So.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Alright. And the last one is Melanie's idea of the goal setting. So if you set a goal, you get a bonus if you meet the goal. What would be a pro?
The pro with that is it's raising up a culture of accountability within your company.
And it's encouraging you to improve, self-improvement.
All right, what would be a con?
That, how do I say this? That people may not be willing to do extra things because it's not one of their goals.
People just get stuck in their own.
That, I'm not going to do that. I need to work on my own goals, and that's not part of my goal, so I don't need to do it.
So it's too individualized. It's not enough teamwork emphasis.
Right.
All right. So, based upon what you guys have said, which do you guys think is the better pay format that you would want for a company? I know you guys are all going to come up with the same answer, right?
Well, I'm pretty happy with, standard pay and then a bonus on top of it.
I would concur with that, yeah. I think that really represents a company that is willing to compensate you for going above and beyond.
Yeah.
Would that be? Sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm sorry, Matt. I didn't mean to cut you off.
Oh no, I was done.
Do you guys think that it should be team or individual?
Individual.
Okay.
Yeah, individual.
Yeah.
But, I understand that this company moved more to the team concept, and so they're just trying to bring the pay structure to reflect the team concept. But I think that it's just too varied. That, I mean, if you did where your bonus is tied to your goals, you can set team goals too, and you could get a bonus off of a team goal and your individual goal. I mean, you could score all around. And that way you're still encouraging some teamwork, but your pay isn't going to suffer if your team fails.
I agree with that, because that's not always fair if someone doesn't do their work.
I think that's a great point, because you're not eliminating the idea of teamwork, but you're not penalized for someone dropping the ball. And yeah, why can't it be both? I don't think it has to be just individual or team.
All right, I have 2 more questions for you guys, and then we'll be done. So, looking at your guys' bonus, do you think a bonus should be? Do you think there should be a part of it that's just guaranteed? So, like, here's your prize for trying.
No.
No, there's no trophies just for playing, dude. Sorry.
Not at our age, right?
No.
Clearly, you're not big self-esteem movement people.
That everybody gets a trophy thing. I'm not on board with that.
Participation.
All right,
No.
and then what percentage do you think the bonus should be? Should like 5%, 10%?
Boy, that's such a big variable.
Well, I think that it should be.
2.57. I don't know.
I mean, if you had a standard, the bonus is 3%, but based on the performance of your team, based on the completion of your goals, it could go up or it could go down. So
Like
if you don't meet your goals,
scale.
if you don't meet your goals, you're not gonna achieve that standard 3%. And 3% is probably a really high base to start at, but I don't know, maybe 2%, and then you have the possibility of reaching up to 6% based on your performance, based on your team's performance. So you could have like 2% tied to your individual and 2% tied to the team, and so you could achieve 6%.
I actually like that because it's like if you do your work, you still get a bonus. All right. Is there anything else you guys would like to add?
I sure hope next week's more interesting reading.
You guys want to start a company?
Might as well.
With all this stuff?
We're not selling keychains and lanyards.
It can be your one-stop shop, cell phones and massages.
There you go.
My family owns a company. I've seen the ugly side of entrepreneurship sometimes.
Oh.
So, well, I guess the question is there anything I can improve? How do you guys think the discussion went? I kind of felt bad that it was like, okay, we're all going to pretend to be this. Give me a list of 20 things. Here's the pros and cons. Like, I almost wish it was like a different discussion, but I have no control over that. So.
No, you did great leading for tonight. Yeah, I think you did great.
It was certainly something, different than our typical discussion. So, and I'm glad that we can continue to bring humor into it, and and it's not all totally dry.
Well, and thank you guys for giving me a chance to write things down as we were typing, because there's no way I could remember all that without going through and watching the video. So.
No problem.
All right. Well, I think that's it.
You don't rewatch the entire conversation.
Am I supposed to?
I don't.
No.
Well, I say just to talk about the doohickey, because just to get the paper idea in mind, I didn't have a chance yet, but I think before the week is out, I'll come up with was it 4 solutions, and just kind of let you guys know what I think would be possible solutions, just so we can get a head start. And that way you guys can go, yeah, I think that's great, because we did kind of somewhat cover benefits. I think, Melanie, you did in yours, although you only talked about continuing education.
Right.
So I mean, so there's like a lot more I could do off of that. But anyways, I just want to let you guys know.
Okay. Yeah, and that's kind of the direction I think we need to go. I mean, now that it's fresh in your mind, fresh in our minds, what kind of solutions can we come up with for doohickeys?
Yeah. Okay.
So, unfortunately, that means that we'll all have the third week, whatever the third topic is in this set. And so I even thought I may even read ahead if I can get into it, and just because I don't like the idea of learning what I'm going to be writing about on Monday and have to have a paper done, within a couple days. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It wasn't too bad when I did it with the first paper, but I think it's just because sexual harassment really wasn't that difficult of a topic to have to study. It just was so
yeah.
maybe just depends on the topic.
Already...
Yeah, something to deal with work and and every job you've ever had. So, anyways.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I guess we will meet again next week.
Okay.
Sounds good.
We meet again.
All right. You all have a wonderful night.
Have a good night.
You too.
Bye.
Good night.